Yeah. Running back nation. What is good, Sixers? Sickos, man. The fact that y'all are still tuning in to hear us talk about this team is just thank you for the support. But this team is really difficult to talk about right now. And yeah, you guys are sickos, man, but we all are, and that's why it works. You know what I'm saying? This is a therapy session for Sixers fans. And there's some things we're going to talk about. Myself, Mike Sports Vibes is in the building. Tone is traveling for the holidays, so he gets to avoid talking about the Sixers this morning. What's going on, Mike?
Man, I love this team, but I hate this team at the same time, man. I got a love-hate relationship with this team. But no, we're going to talk about it. We're going to vent, and this is our therapy session, and I hope everybody enjoys the show.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, the old Valerians, thank you for the content right off the rip. He said, worst take ever. All right. The moving on from Joel Embiid or shutting Joel Embiid down for this season. And he followed that up with, you people don't watch basketball or you are 22 years old. I went through the process. We haven't won a chip since 1983. You people don't understand basketball and how lucky we are to have Joel. Well, my friend, I am 38 years old. I went through the process. I probably went through two processes now. We don't have Joel Embiid. How lucky we are to have him. We don't have him, bro. He's played 4 games in the first 18 games of the season. He can't get on the court. I don't understand this. Me personally, I don't understand the whole, like, I would never move on from Joel Embiid, everything he did for the city and all this. We need people to play basketball, man. We're in the business of winning games here. I'm not in the business of, I don't know, hang a banner for effort, I guess, or hang a banner for whatever. We want to win, man. And if you can't win, you got to move on. That's the business. That's the nature of the business. You know what I mean? If you can't get on the court, I don't know what else to say, man. What's your take on it, Mike?
I mean, the man's never available. And look, I love Joel Embiid, man. Like one of my favorite players that ever played it, that put on a Sixer uniform. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. He's super talented and everything, but if he's never on the court, then what is he doing for us? How are we going to win a championship when he's never playing? You're paying him all this money. You just signed him to an extension, and the man hasn't played more than half the game. So, what do you want? Like, what do you just want to just keep on? It's like a snowball effect. It's just like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We know what the results is. Joel Embiid's a all-time gifted, great offensive player when healthy, but it's to the point where he can't stay healthy, and his knees, I think, either they're done or they're trying to trade him like on a down low. But we all know that the man's never healthy. He hasn't been healthy since we drafted him. He was out his first 2 seasons when we drafted him. That's why he dropped to number 3. He had, what was it, a knee? Was it a back issue, a foot issue? The man broke his face twice. The man broke his fingers. The man had surgery on both his knees. I mean, I understand what you're saying when it comes to like when it comes to his talent, but like, come on, bro. Like, what do you want us to just never win a championship? Like you said, we haven't won since 1983. That's 40 plus years. So it's like we have to move on. Just like we have to move on.
Yeah,
Period.
I mean, thank you for everything you've done over the past 8 years. Thank you for I never really question his effort as far as, getting on the court and playing through injury and all that type of stuff. But yeah,
Right.
it's a business of winning, man, and you just can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And it just looks like it's getting worse, and the Sixers front office, in my opinion, is lying to the fans because they tried to salvage ticket sales the beginning of this season. I don't understand signing him to an extension while knowing that his knee was hurt still. They're talking about some kind of like we talked to doctors and we thought we could do some kind of program to promote healing, which tells me that they knew he was struggling, and then he still played in the Olympics. So they knew he was struggling when he played in the Olympics. None of it really makes much sense, but I think just the question is right now at 3-17, and he's ruled out again. He ramped up or missed the first 8 games of the season, played a couple games, didn't look good. Now he has knee swelling. He's out again. What do you think? Should they pack it in? Should they say, we're not winning anything this season with this start, and there's no point in trying to get him back on the court this year? If you're not going to try to move on from him and try to do something like you're saying, a trade or something like that, should you just try again next season? Should you say this season isn't going to work out? Paul George is hurt. Joel's hurt. They can't get on the court. Let's shut them down for the year. Watch Maxey and McCain drop 30 apiece and stay in the top of the draft. And
Right.
what do you think?
Yeah, because as much as I want to get Cooper Flag, and even if you have the worst record in the NBA, what is it, like a 25% chance you actually get the first overall pick or something like that? So I mean, I don't want to purposely tank. We're not purposely tanking. We're just that bad. But when it comes to Joel Embiid, you know what I mean? When it comes to Joel Embiid, I hate to say it, man, but I think it's time to trade. Like, you have to trade him. You got to get what you can get for him at this point. And like it's almost like a bad movie. You ever watch these trailers from, like, for example, like Avengers? You're like, man, I want to see this movie so bad. Like, and then you're into the movie. It's like an hour or 2 hours into the movie. You're looking at your phone like, dang, when is this movie going to end? Because you know what the ending is going to be. You're like, you're getting bored. You're like, man, I just want this movie to end. I've been sitting watching this movie for 2 hours. And it's the same thing with the Sixers. You're excited for the season. It's you're like, man, I can't wait to watch this movie. I can't wait to watch the Sixers. But at the same time, you know what the ending result's going to be. Even if Joel Embiid comes back, I'm to the point where I have no confidence that we're even going to make a run. Just think about it. Say he comes back, Paul George, I think he might come back against the Pistons tonight. And say we actually get on a winning streak and we get into the play-in or whatever, play-in tournament. And we win. And this is what I think is going to happen. We win that play-in tournament game, and then we play the Boston Celtics or the Cavs. Even though I don't really believe in the Cavs, we want to get knocked out anyway. So it's just like, do you really feel like we have an honest chance? It's not like football where, like, you win the game, you move on. You could be the team that's not the best, but somehow you get on a winning streak, like the New York Giants a few years ago, and they won a Super Bowl, knowing that they wasn't better than the Patriots. It's the same thing with the Sixers, but it's a 7-game series. You're the best team most of the time always wins the championship in the NBA. So it's kind of like the movie that you just want to end. And unfortunately, I love Joel Embiid, like I said before, but we have to we don't want to keep him too long, and then he has no value at all. And I don't even know if he has value right
I think,
now.
yeah, I think we might have already done that.
Right. So it's just like, we have to just build around Tyrese McCain and hope the best that we can get something back from Joel Embiid. It's kind of like when we kept Ben Simmons too long, even though Ben Simmons wasn't hurt. He was just mentally, something was going on with him. But, well, he was hurt. Wasn't he hurt too? He was hurt.
I don't know. I always
Yeah,
think
we don't know
I always,
with Ben Simmons. We don't
I
know
always
with Ben
think those
Simmons.
injuries are made up, man. I always think.
Yeah.
It's tough to answer the question really because you got to know what's going on behind the scenes, and that nobody's really been truthful with what's going on there. I put a poll on Twitter, asking the question, and it is at an 82.4% says yes.
It's a wrap.
Shut them down. It's a wrap. Before we move on, everybody, make sure you hit the like button one time. We YouTube content creators put out content for you free almost every day, man. We just ask you to hit the little thumbs up for us. All right. Yeah, you like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? There's on the injury report, then it lists personal reasons, and now I'm like, is it crazy to think that Joel Embiid it might be the opposite. Like, we're sitting here saying, like, maybe we're done with Joel Embiid. Is it crazy to think that maybe Joel Embiid's done with Philly? Maybe Joel Embiid, because he was in these interviews after practices and stuff saying, like, I don't deserve this. Everything I've done for this city, I don't deserve this. And he was quoted saying, like, I'm always the problem. Everybody always blames me. And the outside narrative of Philly fans is always that Philly fans are negative and run stars out of town and all this type of stuff. Is it crazy to think that Joel Embiid might actually have been like, hey, man, get me out of here?
No, it's not crazy to think that. I've been thinking it this whole time because it just sounds like this is like I almost want to. I hope that's what it is, instead of him just being hurt and he's out for the for his career. He's done for his career. I hope his career continues, even if he's not a Sixer. But I'm hoping that that's the case, that he's just trying to get traded, and so we can get something back for him. But I go back. What was it, last year or the season before that? When they were talking about the New York Knicks, I remember there was like quotes that Joel Embiid was saying, even if I don't win with the Sixers, I won't hope to win with another team. I'm not really sure what team he's trying to go to, even if he's thinking about this, but maybe some of those rumors were actually true, that he's really trying to get out of Philly because he feels like he can't win, and he wasted his prime years in Philly, and we didn't really do anything. We didn't get we didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Did we even get out the second round at
No.
all? We
They
never
haven't
got
been
out
out.
the second round.
No,
So
they
he's
haven't been out the second round since 2001. Allen Iverson.
right. So he's probably thinking like, man, I just got to get out this franchise. I need a new scenery, and sometimes when you go to a new team, sometimes things work out better. But I'm hoping that's the case. What I mean? I hope he's not just done. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that for him.
Yeah, I think it's one of those two things. That's either that could be happening behind the scenes. It also could be they could be telling the truth about his knee now, which they weren't telling in the beginning, and they could be they could be trying to get his knee swelling under control. But yeah, it could be, he's 30 years old. He's had multiple knee surgeries. The meniscus isn't something that grows back, and it could be that's one of the scenarios. It could be like this guy has a knee issue that doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Nick Nurse said yesterday the swelling is gone down. I don't know if I believe what anybody's really saying. It's Joel Embiid and Kawhi Leonard, really. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
Lonzo Ball. They just it sucks, but the knee is not a joint that's dude. Sometimes it's just done for, man. And basketball is all ankles and knees and legs, and
Right.
so
Right.
that could be it too, man. I agree with you. The way if he's upset at the fan base, like some of these players like this, like you can't be upset at the fan base, bro. Like, yeah, I understand you did all of this and you gave your all every year, and but that doesn't mean we need to sit around and honor you and keep losing. You can't be mad at the fan base for saying, "Hey, man, we want to win. This ain't working. We're doing the same thing every year. Let's move on. Let's do something else." Players think they need to be like, all I did for this city, I need to be honored for this forever. Like, no, you don't, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
We love you.
He ain't the
You're
Muhammad.
probably a great guy. We want to win
Right.
basketball games, man. It ain't working.
Yeah, man. He's not the Muhammad Ali of basketball, man. You haven't accomplished enough to even. You're not Allen Iverson. Like Allen Iverson has love no matter what, even though he didn't win. You're not even. He's probably not even Tracy McGrady. He ain't never won. He probably not even Vince Carter. I'm just, bro. Like you haven't done enough for you to get so disrespect that you're thinking, bro. Like I understand that when you play, you're dominant, but at the same time, you haven't played that many games, bro. Like you haven't been available any year for the whole season. The most games you played like for his whole career, I think it's 65, 67 games. I think that was the most games he ever played. So it's just like, dude, like, how do you expect the fan base to just, I mean, we rocking with you, but you're not even playing, like, even this year. Like, I was rocking with you, but you haven't played more than 5 games, bro.
Right.
When our team is just, they stink right now because you're the reason why you're the superstar of the team, and you haven't been on the floor. And on top of that, you got our up and coming superstar Tyrese Maxey calling you out. So stuff is coming out and telling a lot about your character that you're not showing up for practice and everything else. So it's just like it's like a snowball effect. It's just getting worse and worse because we're finding out more and more like how much do you really care about winning? If you really care about winning, you would change. I don't know if it's his diet, his physical training, lifting weights. I don't know, but if you really cared, you'd be playing right now, and you wouldn't have played in the Olympics. Why did you play in the Olympics if it wasn't 100% then? You're supposed to wait. Like I'm over it, bro. Like Olympic gold medalist. The Olympic gold medalist is not more important than a championship. And in my opinion, when it comes to resume about being a top 100 player or a top 50 player or a top 10 player, you have to get championships, bro. There's plenty of people that won gold medalists probably that haven't won a championship that they're not even close to the top 50 best players of all time. You know what I mean?
Is it possible that he cared that much about an Olympic gold medal? Coming where he comes from, he didn't come from America. So an Olympic gold medal might be a bigger deal than we think it is for somebody that came from a different country. You know what I mean? They might talk about it in Africa and other places like it's an honor to win a gold medal. So maybe he did chase a gold medal really because he knew I might not ever win an NBA championship. I want a gold medal to at least be able to say I'm an international athlete who won the Olympics, and you know what I mean. Like maybe that was part of it, man. Rob R says, how much longer will it be before Maxey demands a trade? I wouldn't blame him for deciding he won't win anything. I don't want to think about that, Rob. I don't want to think about that. Maxey's on a 5-year contract, so we're good for 5 years at least. If they fail Maxey over the next 5 years, then maybe he does, man. Maybe he does. It wouldn't be shocking because they haven't done anything since the 80s. Dave says Ben Simmons almost had a triple-double a few nights ago, and Joel Embiid is entering Zion Williamson injury mode. This is bad, folks, and I'm a Pelicans fan. Ben Simmons almost had a triple-double. All right, let's skirt. Let's take an exit real quick off the highway. Simmons. All right. Do you understand how low the bar is for Ben Simmons that you just typed out? Ben Simmons almost had a triple-double.
What is he average? Like Ben
I don't care if Ben Simmons almost had the dude's like, he puts up like 8, 9, and 6, and people are like, oh, Ben was cooking. What?
Bro, he just got cussed out by who just cussed him out because he passed up a hook shot. Who just cussed him out?
Yeah, little French point guard. Yeah, he said, put him in the rim, Ben. Yeah, no, bro. I don't care if Ben Simmons almost had a triple-double. David said, Philly is blue-collar cities, and fans expect you to work hard on your job, especially when you're a millionaire athlete. Exactly. I agree with that, man. I think athletes get a little bit out of touch sometimes with the everyday 9-to-5 person who's like, bro, you're making $1 billion and showing up out of shape. You know what I mean?
Right, man. Right.
I agree with that. Mike, do we still have faith that the Sixers can make the playoffs this season? That's what we need to talk about, man.
Me personally,
yeah. Like straight up.
I'm trying to think of like who's like what the record is in the Eastern Conference. If we get on like a 10-game winning streak, which I know that's not going to happen, but honestly, it could happen. But I don't believe it will happen. You know what I mean? And then I just don't believe even if we got to the playoffs, like they got to really prove me wrong this year because the way they started this season, like I don't even think any Sixer fan should be optimistic, man. Like what's going on? Like it's just like, are you confident that Paul George is going to finish the year? Are you confident even when Joel Embiid comes back? Is he going to be healthy when it counts the most? Like, those are the questions that we got to. As much as we love Tyrese and we love McCain, we don't have. It's almost like we don't have enough talent. We don't. It seems like because look what the team is looking like. Paul George is not playing. Joel Embiid's not playing, and we're just getting destroyed by everybody. Yabusele, I love Yabusele. He's a very good offensively, but defensively, he's a little suspect. Rebounding, he's a little suspect.
He's not. Yeah, he can't be your center, bro. He has to be a stretch 4. You need a big rebounding center in there.
When it comes to Caleb Martin, it's just like he forgot how to play. So he came to the Sixers, forgot how to play. Kind of like PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker was pump thinking nothing. Yeah. He was just pump thinking and bricking for chicken, like I said before. It's just like, and then Kelly Oubre Jr., he is what it is with it is what it is with him. Like, I mean, he had a pretty darn good season in the beginning of last year, but then this season we re-signed him, and it's just like he's Kelly Oubre Jr.
Yeah, he's a utility guy. He's a 10, 12-minute guy who runs up and down the floor, gets some dunks, gets some steals, stuff like that. But yeah, you can't, bro. I'm watching them run the offense through Kelly Oubre sometimes, and I'm pulling my hair out. What am I watching? Why in the world would you be on the floor with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain? Why would you ever be running a pick and roll with Kelly Oubre? You know what I mean? Or they're trying to dump it down to Andre Drummond on the post. What is going on? So we could go on a whole tangent about the roster, and then it just seems like there's not even really any coaching happening when you're watching stuff like that. The game should be run through McCain and Maxey, and it just looks like a bunch of randomness. But thinking about it, the Sixers could eventually get something going in December and January and turn it around and make the playoffs. Look at this. The worst NBA starts through 20 games. if you go to their record right now, 3-17, there's only one team that had a record this bad in the history of the NBA that made the playoffs, and it was the 1984-85 Cleveland Cavaliers,
Wow.
who were 2-18, and they lost in the first round. Any team in the history of the game that started the season 3-17 did not make the playoffs.
Right. And the one thing about it is it's easier now because of the play-in. The play-in gives them like an outside chance of getting into the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about the play-in. That's true.
But it doesn't mean you're going to do anything in the playoffs. But it's just like, and I just hate saying this. Like, as a Sixer fan sticking up for the Sixers, I hate saying, if Joel Embiid is healthy, we got a chance. I'm so over saying that, bro. Like, it's exhausting. Oh, well,
it is.
When Joel Embiid is healthy, he can cook Jokic. When Joel Embiid is healthy, he can do this. He's the best player in the NBA. Like, I'm so over saying that, and it's just like, it sucks because I know how great he is as a player, but it's just like, how bad does he want to win if he's not even on time for practice and he's not even on the bench? He's not even on the bench anymore. Like, what's going on with that? You see Paul George, you see Kyle Lowry. Did you see Kyle Lowry's name tag or whatever? It said
Coach Lowry.
Coach Lowry. I said, what the heck is going on? So he's a coach now.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad this is a joke to these guys. You know what I mean? I'm glad we're making jokes about how I'm so old that I'm a coach on the sideline. Look, what is this? Isn't an all-star game. This isn't a celebrity game, and we're out here making jokes about you. But like, we're losing all the time, and we got guys making jokes on the sideline wearing a coaching name tag like this. Is anybody serious? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is anybody serious? Go ahead, man. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, then it just makes me feel like, man, like, about this offseason, I said, yo, we had such a great offseason. It makes me question my knowledge of basketball because I think about Caleb Martin. It really does, bro. Like, when you think of Caleb Martin, man, when he was the so-called Boston Destroyer, Boston Killer, whatever you want to call him.
Boston Strangler,
whatever. And then he just comes to the Sixers and he's just below average. And then it's just like, when you think about Andre Drummond, I was thinking, who's the best backup center for Joel Embiid? And a lot of us will say Andre Drummond. A lot of us at one point said Andre Drummond. I mean, some people said Dwight Howard. Some people said, what's the young boy that you was talking about, East?
I mean, backup center, but that's the idea. He was supposed to come here and be a backup center. He was supposed to play 10 minutes a game when Joel Embiid sits. And they're not only is Joel Embiid not playing and Andre Drummond is forced to play 30 minutes, they're like running plays for him, dude. There's not a single person. I don't think it's Andre Drummond is worse than we thought he was. Andre Drummond's not that good at basketball. That's not why anybody wanted him on the team. He's a great rebounder, and he's supposed to be a backup center and play 10 minutes and come in and help us with the rebounding issue and help us not fall apart when Joel Embiid goes to the bench. I think everybody knew already that if Andre Drummond is playing 30 minutes, it's not going to be good. He can't dribble the ball. He's just Andre Drummond. But also, again, they're putting him on the block and dumping the ball down to him, bro. I can't be watching Andre Drummond post moves. This is horrendous.
And you know what? And this really sucks because it's just like, even if imagine Tyrese Maxey didn't get hurt, do you even think Jared McCain will be doing what he's doing right now? It just takes injuries for you to figure out players. And that's the one thing about this coaching staff. It's like, don't you see them every day? Like, I was like saying, yo, play Ricky Council some more minutes. Ricky Council had a good game last game. You know what I mean? And it's just like, why does it take for players to get injured? Why can't you just play them minutes and see what they have in the regular season? Like, why does it take for our stars to get hurt so y'all can give them an opportunity? Until you give them the opportunity, you're never going to know what you have on that dang on court. And I think Ricky Council, finally, he got the opportunity, and he was balling. He was balling, Bro,
he's a 6'7" athlete. Right. Like, you got a bunch of old short guys out there for the first 20 games of the season. You're getting ran off the floor by every other team that's playing 20-year-old athletes. And so you finally put a young athlete on the floor. And Ricky Council, again, not the most skilled basketball player in the world, but he has things that you're lacking. He has size and athleticism and fire and flies to the rim and plays with passion, plays hard. We'll see if Nick Nurse, that's another whole topic. Like, why is this coach just doing the same thing every game and continuing to lose? And then he looks confused on the sidelines. Like, is he really confused? You know what I mean? Is Nick Nurse really is he really confused? Is he really like, why can't I win? And then he tries the same thing. And he keeps putting Eric Gordon out there, This is the worst basketball player in the entire NBA right now. This guy's done. He can't do anything, bro. If I watch another Eric Gordon left-handed running floater shank off the backboard, it's crazy how bad some of these players are right now in some of these lineups, but it's crazier that the coach is watching it and he looks like he can't figure out why it's happening. And then he tries the same thing again. You know?
It's funny, but it's just like, why isn't Nick Nurse giving Dalton? And is he hurt? Is Dalton hurt or something? Why isn't he not getting any minutes? It's just like, play
Doughton,
your
Jeff
young
Doughton, you talking
players.
about?
Yeah, Dalton. Yeah, Jeff
Yeah, I don't
Dalton.
know.
Why
I don't
isn't
know.
he getting any minutes? Like,
Adembona. Like when he started,
yes,
he
Kona.
started Yabusele. He started Yabusele and Drummond last game in the same lineup, right? And I was like, okay, that means Adembona is going to be the backup center, definitely, right? Line change happens, and he
Nope.
just takes out Drummond and moves Yabusele to center. Well, what? Why do
Yeah,
you hate Adembona so
yeah.
much? You
Try
can't win a
something
game
new.
anyway.
Try something new. That's my biggest thing with when it comes to Nick Nurse. But it's just like, I don't know, man. This is what we
Do you
have to
think these
deal with.
dudes are on the hot seat? Do you think Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey are on the hot seat?
They better be. Shoot, they
Or do you
better
think
be.
the ownership is just gonna? Do you think they're gonna get away with having the excuse of, well, Paul George and Embiid were injured, so
They're gonna mess around, lose a lot of their fan base, man. People ain't gonna be going to the games. Like I love the Sixers, man. I want to go to a lot of games this season. I'm not looking forward to go to a game. Like I wouldn't. They would have to pay me probably to go to a game right now. Like that's how bad it is right now. The Sixers are that bad, bro. I feel like even at home, it's just like we got the Rockets in the overtime, but we still losing. We still losing, bro.
yeah.
Even at home, we're usually a very good home team, but we're losing at home now. So it's just like, but everybody should be under fire right now. Elton Brand, what does Elton Brand do? I'm trying to figure out what he does.
He's
When it
the Elton Brand is the do y'all mind if my cousin comes with? You know what I
right,
mean?
it's like,
What?
damn, he was part of the reason why we had Al Horford. Like he was part of the reason why we had what's it, Josh Richardson. We had a whole bunch of players that can't shoot, including Ben. Like bro, they don't know what they're doing. The organization don't know what they're doing, bro.
I don't think Elton Brand ever really. I don't think Elton Brand ever really made a decision. I think the owners were making decisions and they were putting Brett Brown and Elton Brand out there to cover their asses. But like there was a lot of rumors about like the Mikal Bridges trade and that like
Yeah.
Scott O'Neal and Josh Harris and some other owners were the ones that loved
Oof.
Zaire Smith and traded Mikal Bridges for him. Like I think there was a lot of like billionaires playing 2K with a real basketball team going on. And then they were like, okay, fine, we'll hire Daryl Morey. We don't know what we're doing. We'll hire Daryl Morey. Maybe he'll save us. And he just, I don't know if, but you're right. It'll get to the point where the money is going to make them make a decision. You know what I mean?
I have to.
Because they want to build a new arena. And now the fans don't even want to show up and you're trying to build a new arena. And if they come to their senses and realize that the fans are going to want at least something fresh,
Right.
even if we do accept that we're bad and get to the top of the draft, the fans are going to want something fresh. You can't come back next season with Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid and be like, okay, now we're going to do it again. What? Who believes
Right.
you at this point, man?
Right. Yeah, it just keeps on happening every year, man. It's the same thing going. It's the same old thing, man. Same
Yeah.
story every season, and it's just like the question. What's it, Rob?
Yeah, what's up, Rob? Rob said, who exactly are you trading Embiid to, and what do you honestly expect to get in return? Any trade partner will likely want that Clippers unprotected first round pick. That would be crazy to give up that valuable of a pick just to get off of a contract that you shouldn't have signed in the first place. Holy hell!
Shit, this is
But you were
crazy.
saying before we went live, and I think I think one of the only real scenarios would be if Jimmy Butler still believes in
Yes.
Joel Embiid, and if the Sixers, and Joel Embiid, if they would try to trade him, it would take them and Joel convincing another team like, hey, he can still be healthy for a couple of years. He just doesn't want to be here anymore. It would take
Right.
them selling that to another team. He just wants out of here. If you trade for him, he's gonna play, I guess, and help. I don't know, man. Because if I was another franchise, I'd be like, hell no, bro.
Yeah, but the only I don't want to say positive, but people are going to be like, man, if he's with us, maybe we can change. Maybe he could be healthy with us. Maybe if we change his diet and do this and do that, or maybe he, like I said, new scenery. He has new energy. Ever see a player that you thought was washed, and all of a sudden he goes to a whole nother team and he looks like he's fresh and he's doing
Yeah.
his thing. So that could be like Buddy Hield when he came to the Sixers. Like then he went to the Warriors. You know what I mean? But my whole thing with Joel, like I just feel like, all right, so Jimmy Butler, they tight. Jimmy Butler and Joel is tight, so you never know. He might be like, yo, Pat Riley, man, like I feel like I like Bam. I really like Bam, but I think that we can take it to another level if you get my guy Joel Embiid in a Miami Heat uniform. And we might, we might be able to get Bam back. I mean, I seen some rumors. It was Bam, Tyler Hero, and 2 first-round picks. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think
Yeah.
that's realistic right now because he's not playing. But there's always that mindset that people are like, Joel Embiid's that bull, like when he's healthy. So they're probably
Yeah.
thinking like, if I can get him and he's Joel Embiid, MVP caliber Joel Embiid. That didn't happen too long ago when he won the MVP. So if I can get that caliber Joel Embiid or close to it, like a 85% Joel Embiid, the Miami, like they got a
They might.
chance.
Yeah. And Jimmy Butler's getting older too. And if you're just like, let's swing for the fences at the end of Jimmy Butler's career and try something in the next 2 or 3 years, and then if that doesn't work, then we move on to the next era, next phase when Jimmy Butler retires or whatever. So I think that's possible, I guess, but getting Bam in return,
You're not getting Bam.
that sounds
I don't
wild.
think
That's
so.
a rebounding defensive athletic center who doesn't have an injury history, really.
He'll be perfect for the Sixers right now.
If you could get Bam for Joel Embiid right now, I don't care. I'm sorry. I know people don't want to hear it. If you could get Bam for Joel Embiid right now, yes.
Straight up.
I don't even think that's possible at this point, man. Philly born and raised says, just keep it real. We're officially a draft team. We should be focused on that. Let's do it.
I mean,
well, guess what, man? Speaking of the draft, let me share this tweet right here, man. Speaking of the draft, possibly the 76ers right now have the worst record they've had since 2015, where they finished 10-72.
Oh.
The worst record after that was the 1972 Sixers that finished 9-73.
Dang.
So, like, that's the thing, when you look at a 3-14 record, people don't want to accept that, like, you're 3-14 because you've been playing this bad for 17 games. But the whole, like, oh, it's because the stars have been out and people think that you're going to get the stars back, so that they think that 3-14 record is not realistic. But really, when you look at why they're 3-14, it's not even, I don't even think it's really because Joel Embiid and Paul George aren't on the floor. They're so bad in the intangible parts of the game, in the transition perimeter defense, rebounding. Like, they would have won if this team had a good supporting cast, or the supporting cast was as good as we thought it was going to be. They would have won some more games by now. They wouldn't be 3-14. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And Joel Embiid and Paul George, when they was playing, they played. How many games they played together so far?
I think 2.
Like, when they were on the court together, did they look good? Be honest with y'all. Be honest with yourself, Sixer fans. Did they look good? Did Joel Embiid individually? Did he look good?
No,
not really. Not on defense, definitely. You know what I mean? And then on offense, he was getting it, but he was just making his free throws. And I'm not taking that from him, but he wasn't Joel Embiid like we know he can be. And then Paul George, I don't know about Paul George. Like, the last game he played, the man had 2 points in the whole first half, bro. Before he got hurt in the third quarter, the man had 2 points in one half, bro. Like, that's unacceptable. $200 million, and you're giving me this performance? I don't know.
That's what's so frustrating about the team thinking about it now, because it's not like you can just be like, hey, we were thinking about signing these guys, but it looks this bad, so let's not sign them and let's move on to the future. We already signed them. We already signed them for the next 3 years at least with Joel Embiid, and the next 4 years with Paul George. They're already signed, bro. That's why it's so hard to talk about this team, because realistically, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah. It's nothing. Like, who's going to want Paul George right now? Realistically, who will want Paul George?
On a max contract?
I'm looking at Tobias. I feel like Tobias is playing better than Paul George. And I want to trade Tobias for a crumble cookie at one point. I still don't want him on the team. Don't get it twisted now. I don't want him on the team. But right now, man, is it
Tobias Harris
it is
is
Tobias
averaging
Harris.
14, 7, and 2 in 20 games in Detroit. He's doing what Tobias Harris always did. Again, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
the same.
moved. I'm not moved
Yeah,
by Tobias. Somebody told me yesterday that this team would be better
no,
with Tobias Harris right now. And I said the Sixers are 3-14. Their record, if Tobias Harris was still on the team, would be 3-14. Like maybe they would have won a
one
couple more.
game,
He likes
one
to
more
go
game.
off against a bad team. He'll drop 30 against like the worst
Yeah.
defensive teams in the league or whatever. So maybe 1 or 2 games, but it wouldn't actually make a difference in the long run. But
Man,
let's talk about the Sixers Pistons tonight before we get out of here. Can the 76ers even beat the Detroit Pistons? You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at what's
is
the
it home?
Detroit Pistons record?
Are they
9 and
home?
12. The Pistons are 9 and 12. It is in Detroit.
Oh man,
And the thing is that Tobias Harris, I always roasted him for his effort on the court. You know what I mean? Because he's a very soft player to me. He's a very just kind of finesse, little Euro
finesse.
step, high off the glass, doesn't play very physical. So I always roasted him for his effort when I see him out there. But against the Sixers this season, he had 14 rebounds. He came back to Philly and he had 14 rebounds. He had 18 points and 14 rebounds. That tells me that there's an extra gear that he went into because he was playing in Philadelphia and his effort was a little bit higher. And he dropped 14 boards on us. And we're not a good rebounding team to begin with. So you're gonna get a little bit better of a Tobias Harris when he's playing the Sixers. You know what I mean? So we're looking at that in Detroit tonight. Tobias saying, "Okay, now you're coming into my town. I'm gonna show you what I can do." So bet the over on Tobias Harris rebounds. You know what I mean? But can they even beat the Pistons, man? Let's look at the matchup and answer in the chat also. Can the Sixers, like the Pistons aren't good. They're young, but they got talent and they got
Yeah.
things that the Sixers struggle with, man. The Sixers are 29th in the NBA in points per game, 30th in the NBA in assists per game, 29th in the NBA in rebounds per game, 28th in the NBA in field goal percentage, 27th in block shots per game because we can't guard the rim at all. We're 30th in the league in 3-point percentage. I mean, yeah, bro. They're bad at everything. They're bad at everything. The Detroit Pistons are 4th in the NBA in rebounds per game. The Sixers can't rebound, and this is a top 5 rebounding team. So expect them to get smoked on the boards. What else? The Pistons are 8th in block shots per game. So expect them to get smoked on the boards. Expect the Eric Gordon to get blocked at the rim about 7 times. You know what I mean? And those are the things that are going to kill you even against teams that aren't great, but they have young athletes. They're good at defending the rim. They're good at rebounding, and you're bad at defending the rim. You're bad at rebounding. So it's no, I'm not betting on the Sixers tonight.
Yeah, I'm not betting on the Sixers. I don't even think they had Kate Cunningham last game. So he's back from injury and he's their best player, debatably, right? So then you got Jaden Ivey. I like him as well. Um, they just they're just better, man. They're younger, they're more athletic, they're more hungrier. That's another thing. Like, that's the one thing about like why Sixer fans are so frustrated, because it seems like the team isn't hungry to win. Our stars ain't hungry to win. They don't have that drive. Once you get that paper, you know what I mean? You would think they would want to win a championship, but it don't seem like it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they don't have another gear. The only players that actually are balling right now is Tyrese and McCain. That's it. Everybody else is like nonchalant with the passes, the turnovers. Like, I don't like what we got going on, but I don't think we're gonna beat this team. Like, I'll be watching it.
So
I'll be
then
live, but
what like what's frustrating me most is that like when is this team and organization going to accept how bad they are? You know, they're 3-17. They keep trying the same thing. They keep losing. We're sitting here saying I expect them to lose to the Pistons tonight for reasons that I think make sense. Defense, rebounding, the same things have been killing you the whole season. But the front office keeps trying to sell this this BS. They keep trying to, oh,
Mhm.
Joel's swelling went down. Paul George is getting back health. They're like, when is the front office going to say, you guys are right? All right, we're terrible. It's and then at that point, something will change. You
Let
know,
me let me keep it real with you. The only way they're gonna change something, honestly, is when the ticket sales start dropping. Until the ticket sales stop drop, like when they start to drop, they're gonna be promoting. Oh, Joel Embiid's gonna come back. They're just managing his knee. They're gonna just say all the stuff that makes Sixer fans like, yeah, we still have a chance, even though we're 3-14. Our record says otherwise. We still have a chance, but they're still gonna promote it as we still got a chance once we get our stars back. And yeah, that's a big name. Joel Embiid's probably, like I said before, I hate saying it, when he is healthy, top 5 player, hands down. You know what I mean?
easy.
And Paul George, when he's balling at his highest level, he's probably still a top 25 player in the game right now. So, but at the same time, do they have the drive? Do they really want it? And we know that they don't have the drive. We're watching it. And then it's just like with Joel Embiid, it's like it's confusing. So what was he out? What did they say his injury was? Is it still his knee? Is it something personal? Like
Well, they
what's
said
really
personal
going on?
reasons. There's somebody said that his wife's having another child, and that's why he wasn't
Okay.
at the game. So if it's that, if the personal reasons is that, then that makes sense, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it said knee swelling and personal reasons. But what again? This fan base is fed up with this with the stuff.
Right.
So why would you put personal reasons and not explain it? You know what I mean?
Right.
If you
Doesn't
want to
matter.
calm down the fan base, you should have said Joel's knee is he has still his knee swelling. Also, he's expecting a second child. Then people would have been like, all right, that's
Okay.
fine. But you didn't even tell us that. You said personal reasons. So now they just keep fueling the rumor mill and making the fan base hate him more and more and more. Do you think this
Yeah.
ownership management is like delusional? Like, are they sitting in a room right now and they have no idea that the fan base is saying what we're saying right now? Are they in a room right now and they're like, listen, guys, it's fine. We're gonna get Joel back. We're gonna get and then the fans will be happy. Like, don't you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the classic like movie scene where the king is up in the office and the people are outside throwing shit at the building and chanting and trying to burning cars in the street and they're like it's fine man we're just get
Yeah.
don't listen to them, we're gonna
Yeah.
get things back. Are they do they still think that?
Yeah, like I feel like that, man. Like I said, until their pockets start hurting, and then you got these big name stars on your team, so it's just like, all right, I still got Joel Embiid, so it's still going to give me, still going to make me some money. You know what I'm saying? Until the Sixer fans stop going to the games, nothing's going to change, and that's just the unfortunate truth. And then it's just like, and I try to tell Sixer fans like. Even with the draft, us tanking for Flag, I would love to get Cooper Flag. The man is what is he 6'7", only 17 years old,
6'9".
got 6'9",
Yeah.
got handle, can shoot, can play some defense. I love his game. I was watching his highlights like, yo, this man got game. But it's not, even if we happen to suck, even though we're not sucking on purpose, we just naturally suck. It's just a
Yeah.
natural thing at this point. It's not a guarantee we're going to get him. And so we
Right.
have to really do our research on other players. Maybe we can possibly get another
Ace
a
Bailey's
caliber.
six. Ace Bailey's 6'8", 200, and is the
Okay.
same. You know, has a lot of basketball skills and is a freak athlete. I mean,
Freak athlete.
I saw a block shot the other night where he almost hit his head on the rim. Like his arm was almost at the top of the backboard. You know, so I do think that the ownership and management is going to have to. They're going to have to sell something next season for these fans to come back. And
Yeah.
I don't think you can sell Joel Embiid and Paul George again.
No, you
So
can't.
I think their best option is to get a shiny new player and say, hey, look what we got. We got Cooper Flag. We got Ace Bailey. And the future is Maxie McCain and Flag or Maxie McCain. They're going to have to turn the turnstile pretty soon, man.
I haven't done my research. Have you do you know the top like 10 prospects right now? Like that's possibly coming out. I know Cooper Flag's the most popular, but like who's like the guy besides Cooper Flag? Is there like another guy you're just
It's
like,
just Ace
yo,
Bailey, Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey. People
just them
are
two
going back and forth on.
back and
Yeah,
forth?
people are
Okay.
mentioning another player. I haven't done the research yet either. But yeah, Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, both 6'8", 6'9", combo handles, shooting ability. You know, really like I compare him to Paul George. You know, coming out of the draft, or Kevin Durant coming out of the draft at Texas. You know
Ooh,
that height
wow.
with the basketball skills is That's my comparisons for those two players.
You got me. You got me when you
Like the
said Kevin
best, like
Durant.
the best case
Yeah.
scenario, you
Yeah,
know?
the best case scenario. If
If the
they're
Sixers
anywhere like
draft them,
that,
they'll probably be,
don't say
you know.
it. But yo, that's another thing. That's another big thing about the Sixer organization. Like, what's up with the developing? Like I feel like we don't develop players, and it's like if it's like Tyrese Maxey, that's not really. I think he just was a hard worker and he just got that good. And I think Jerry McCain's just a natural. What
Yep.
players has the Sixers really developed? Same with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was
None?
just naturally gifted. Like that's a problem, though.
Uh-huh.
What's the one player? Oh, he left the Sixers and he became I don't know if he became an all star.
Isaiah Joe,
Not Isaiah Joe. There was another player. Oh
Charles
man,
Bassey.
not him either. It's another player. I can't think off the top of my head. He
Isaiah
was like
Joe, they
average.
released, and OKC signed him, and he became one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA.
The
Charles
player I'm
Bassey,
talking
they
about
released.
was
Yeah, go ahead.
the player I'm talking about. I think he was undrafted, an undrafted free agent. I
Yeah.
think, and he became like Tobias ish. He was doing Tobias ish stuff, being undrafted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get his name, and I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna have to tell you. But my whole point is, we're not developing our players, man. That's another
No.
thing.
You got to get a development coach. Well, especially if the process is over and you're gonna move towards the next era of Sixers basketball with Maxie McCain and you're gonna draft a player. There's no point in keep at that. That's another great topic. There's no point in keeping Nick Nurse if that's what you're gonna do because he's not a development player. He's not a development coach.
Yeah.
He's a guy that like Doc Rivers, give me championship winning players and I'll go win a championship, which I think is insanely overrated because if you have that good of a roster, does that make you a great coach? Or are you just giving the ball to four Hall of Famers and saying, go win a championship? You know what I mean?
That's what Doc Rivers did.
Like Eric Spoelstra, took the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals with 5 undrafted players.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? 5 undrafted players they had, and those guys moved on. I can't think of their names right now, but those guys moved on. Max Strus and who's the other dude that moved on? He was killing the Sixers with the Heat. But yeah, Spoelstra got so much out of those undrafted players, and then they moved on and kind of haven't been the same. That says a lot about how good a coach is and how good the development is. Not, right. If I don't have championship level players, then we're bad because of the roster. Like, are you even a coach? What do you do exactly?
Yeah. And like, especially if you don't have the leadership on the floor, like,
and put a Dembona on the damn floor already, man.
Right.
Damn.
Right. I don't know why he's not playing, but we got to change it. Like, I want to change it up, but like, regardless of what we're saying, they're not going to do it, bro.
If anyone listening hasn't seen a Dembona at UCLA, and the reason the Sixers drafted him in the second round, just go YouTube a Dembona UCLA highlights. The dude is a rebounding, shot blocking machine, and they won't put him on the floor.
Yeah.
And look, you're the worst team in the league at rebounding. You're the worst team in the league at blocking shots. So why would you not put the guy on the floor that can rebound and block shots? Am I crazy? Or is this just insanely obvious and they can't figure it out?
It's obvious, but like I said, like I feel like
Gabe Vincent, that's who it is. Gabe Vincent.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's just this team. I don't know, man. It's just that I think they try to take too many shortcuts to win a championship and it just backfired. Like you trying to pay all these players that are known players and stars like James Harden and you sign Paul George, and you got to develop. Like most of the teams that win championships, most of the time they draft well, they develop well, and that's when you have the dynasties. That's when you start having the dynasties, when you win multiple championships. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors, for example, perfect example, the latest dynasty, right? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. You know what I'm saying? And they drafted them. They drafted I believe Green, right? I think they drafted Green. Oh, what's going on with my brother?
My camera died. It's all right. It's gonna turn back on.
Yeah. So I'm like, hold on now, brother. What's going on? But yeah, like you have to draft well and develop, and they, in the beginning of Steph Curry's career, he had like a lot of ankle issues, and they were saying his career might be cut short, but they got that together, and then he's an all-time great, one of the greatest players of all time. But it starts with drafting and developing. You can't take the shortcut and sign. You can't do that. It's not like only players you could probably do that with. There's only a select few. That's LeBron James, You know what I mean? Just put him on any team in his prime, and you got a chance to win a championship. There's not many. You can't just do that though. It's just there's no LeBron James. There's only one LeBron James of all time. There's only one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to do it the right way to actually have longevity winning. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Not just 1 year.
Facts.
So
Yeah, that they didn't know what they were doing. That was a couple billionaires that bought a team that was bad, and they said let's get to the top of the draft. Let's draft some players, and that'll be enough. I don't know if they ever planned on building a good team. I think they just planned on selling hope to the fans, and they knew if we get to the top of the draft and we draft somebody, we could put the banner outside and jack up the ticket prices. That's exactly what happened. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But you're right. You look at OKC, you look at any of these teams
OKC,
that
right.
that rebuilt. Houston,
Oof.
I can't even believe we went to
Denver.
overtime with Houston. Houston was on a back-to-back. If they weren't on a back-to-back, they would have wiped the floor with this Sixers team, man.
Right.
You know, because they rebuilt the right way. They drafted players, and then they brought in, you know, Dylan Brooks
Around.
type of
Yeah.
players to fill in the void. You know, Marcus Smart type of player to be that defensive-minded, go get it attitude type of guy who's, you know, Draymond Green type of player who's going to get in players' faces and get the most out of everyone on the floor. And then they went and hired Ime Udoka, who's the same type of mindset. And that's how you rebuild a team and then put the pieces together and start winning games. OKC rebuilt, and then they traded for SGA, which is funny because the Clippers traded SGA for Paul George.
Stupid.
They traded SGA and 7 first-round draft picks.
Stupid.
For Paul George.
that was probably worse than the Rudy trade when they gave up like I don't know how many first round picks they gave up for him. That's probably worse than that trade. But it's just like I don't know, man. We got $400 million not playing.
Bleacher Report just released something saying Sixers may look to trade the 2025 pick if we get it back. What are we doing, man? No, I don't believe that. That's just Bleacher Report making clicks. If you're telling me if the Sixers continue to be this bad and get to the top of the, because it's top 6 protected. So if it lands at 6 or 7, if it lands at 7, OKC gets the pick. So you're telling me if it lands in the top 6 and the Sixers get it, they're going to trade it for what?
Why? Why? Because we're trying to. Why would you get rid of a top play like a? Top
I'm gonna have to go look at that Bleacher Report article then, though, and maybe make a video on that because I want to give my opinion probably on that. Because if they would do that, bro, I don't know what I would do, man. I might. If they would do that, I might sell this YouTube channel for whatever it's worth, man.
I'm a Spurs fan. I'm going. But you know another example, right? The Celtics. Like they drafted Jason Tatum. We traded up to get Markelle Fultz. Oh my gosh, man!
Because Danny Ainge is a
first round pick.
Because Danny Ainge is a GM who played the game. He played for the Celtics in the 80s. That's somebody who has the analytical side of things, understands the game, and also has the history of playing the game and knows what it takes to build a good team from the inside out. Daryl Morey never played basketball. He never played basketball, bro. He's an analytics guy who worked for a stat company and invented an algorithm to predict win percentage. I swear to God, that's a real thing.
Right.
He's literally 100% analytics math guy who knows nothing about the sport. And he hit gold on James Harden when they traded for him when he was in Houston. And then he didn't know what else to do. And then he came to Philly and said, oh, I don't know. I guess I'll get James Harden again. I don't know what to do.
and then it's just like, what draft was Jaylen Brown in? I forgot.
He is hitting on some draft picks. I'll give him that. You know, he hit on Tyrese Maxey, hit on Jared McCain, hit on Isaiah Joe and Charles Bassey, who was released because they wouldn't play him.
Right.
But it's time. It's time. I don't care anymore. It's time, bro. I'm tired of seeing Daryl Morey. I don't think you're going to move forward and develop anybody with Nick Nurse. It's time, bro. What are we doing?
Wasting time. That's exactly
where
what's
I'm at
happening.
with it.
We wasting time, but at the end of the day, we're sickos for the Sixers, man. We're sickos for the Sixers, and we just trying to, you know what I mean? We want to win a championship, but we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Well, I don't. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel right now for the Sixers. I'm just hoping the best. We'll see what happens with Jared McCain and Maxey. We'll build around them.
Somebody said wave Embiid. I mean, you would have to at least trade him for something.
Nah, hell no. I'm not. Because you still will have to pay him, right?
Yeah, these guys are on max contracts, bro.
Yeah,
I think
you can't just.
That's the thing. People in the chat are trying to figure out answers. I'm here to tell you, I don't see an answer.
You got to trade him. He got to
go watch the Eagles. Go watch the Phillies. There's no answer here, bro.
Yeah, it's bad right now, and I'm hoping I'm cheering for Paul George, but I don't get the mindset that he has. He doesn't seem like he has a winning mindset. He seems like he has like,
He's
I'm just
paid
here
in
to
to
get my
stay,
money.
baby. Podcast P.
I'm just trying to get my money, get my
He wants
last
to
big
do what I'm
contract.
doing.
You know what I'm
He wants
saying?
he wants to do what I'm doing. How sad is that, bro? I'm only doing this because I'm not an NBA player. Why are you trying to be a podcaster for? That doesn't make any sense.
It's like his head's not even in the game. Like, why are you even talking about the issues that the Sixers are going through right now during the freaking season? Like,
Mike, before we get out of here, Mike, before we get out of here, I need you to tell me that I'm not personally cursed. All right, because listen to this. Before I started podcasting, I was a DJ for 13 years. And when I first started DJing, it became this popular thing in like 2010, 11, when EDM took over in the United States and celebrities started being DJs. You know what I mean? It was this cool thing that everybody wanted to do. And Paris Hilton was a DJ. And I was like, why? Dude, I become a DJ and all of a sudden the whole thing becomes a joke. You know what I mean? Then I start being a podcaster and now everybody wants to be a podcaster and NBA players are making podcasts. And it's this, what is going on here? Everything I try to do becomes popular and celebrities ruin it for some reason, right? And also, I've loved the 76ers forever and they've been terrible forever, right? And anytime I bet on anything, they lose. So I put $100 on a Jared McCain 30-point game the other night because he was cooking in the first quarter and he immediately started bricking everything and turning the ball over and lost all of his talent, man. Are the 76ers bad because of me?
Nah, man. It's just
if I go become the fan of another team, that team's gonna be trash.
You know, it's funny.
Immediately.
Some people
when I play fantasy football, if I draft you in fantasy football, your career's over. I ruin your career. You're getting injured, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Am I the curse?
Man. Nah, it's not. It's not that. Because, you know, even some people be saying, like, Mike, you're a curse because now the Phillies lost because I was covering the Phillies. It was like, yo, since you've been covering the Phillies lost in the first round. You shouldn't have covered. Now the Sixers are bad. Now the Phillies are bad. I'm like, man, it's not me, bro. It's just a coincidence, bro. It's just a coincidence. It's not you. It's not you, brother.
All right, thank man. Someone said yes. Go support the Celtics, so they can I can put a curse on the Celtics. Bona is going to get cut and then lead the NBA in blocks. Probably. That's probably what's going to happen, Nick. All right, man. Mike, we did it again, man. Another episode of Sixers Saturdays. Next week we'll have Tone back. But we did it again. At this point, talking about this team for an hour is an unbelievable accomplishment. Every time we do it, I'm like, how did we do that? How did we pull it off again?
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's just it's a bad situation, but it's a good situation for us because we got a lot to talk about. But I just wish it was better things to talk about. You know what I mean? Not so, but we keeping it real though. That's one thing about us. We keeping it 100. Like, we're not going to be delusional. You know what I mean?
This losing that they're doing right now, the only positive way we can look at it is it's pressure building up on the pot on the stove. You know what I mean? It's something's going to happen. It's like watching you ever watch a soccer game that goes into extra time and it's 0-0 and you're still watching it because you're like, something's going to happen. You know, right. You ever watch a baseball game goes into extra innings, it's 0-0. I'm watching it because something's going to happen eventually. Right. So something's going to happen here.
If they lose this game, against the Pistons, I'm expecting, what's today? Today is Saturday. I'm expecting some breaking news Monday morning. Nick Nurse is fired. Monday morning,
hot take.
Fired.
If they lose this game.
He's fired. He's fired. It's a wrap.
I don't know
who's going to replace him. I don't know who's going to replace him. Who's their assistant coach? I don't even know the Bulls' name, but he fired.
Rico Hines?
He going to be the head coach.
Rico Hines, a Philly guy, isn't he? He does those off-season tournaments at a local gym. The Rico Hines runs and the NBA players come and play in it and stuff. You might as well do that. At least you'll have the fan base behind somebody who's a Philly guy, you know?
Yeah, they need to change it up. They need to change up like in baseball. Change it up.
Peter Dunbar, man, thanks for the support. Shut it down. Save Embiid for possible trade. Get top 5 pick. Play Bona. Play younger players to develop them, and look forward to a new coach and a new GM. I agree, man. Something's gonna happen. This ain't working. They got to change it up. All right, Mike. Thanks for coming through again, man. We'll do it again next Saturday. Thank you all for tuning in. Sixers Saturdays right here, 10 or 11 a.m. every single Saturday. We'll see you next time. Peace.